What's up, YouTube? We are back today with another video. Today's video is going to be a story about how I crashed a car at work my first week in the tire center at Costco. My buddy Josh gave me this idea because he didn't believe that I actually crashed a car when I was at work my first week in the tire shop. So shout out to him, Josh, aka Geppetto. So yeah, I was at work and I was just in the middle of learning all the stuff in the tire center. The first week you're there, if you ever get hired on into the tire center, you pretty much get shadowed by someone the whole day. I had my buddy Mike taking me through the ropes. I'm a pretty quick learner, so I was doing a lot pretty fast. I was just pulling cars in and out of the tire shop, lifting them, learning all the safety features of all these lifts and how to lift a car, assembling them, disassembling them, so taking off all the lug nuts, labeling all the tires that are getting rotation, setting up stations like for either flat repairs, tire installation, or just a rebalance. So I'm pretty familiar with driving stick. My dad taught me how to drive stick in probably like 2010, and it was on his Toyota Tercel, little tiny cracker box car. But I had remembered enough to know how to drive, and I told him I was confident driving a stick, and I was. So I go to grab this piece of junk, like 1990 Nissan Altima. It was like dark blue, the body was all beaten up, and it's kind of a piece of junk, but the guy had some aftermarket stuff done to it, and it was a manual transmission, so it was stick, and it had the usual clutch, brake, gas, and he replaced them with aftermarket pedals, and they were all bunched up real close together. I remember they were gold, and I had giant work boots on, so I was able to pull it in, and we did all the work. The service was done on it. I forget what service it got, but my manager asked me to pull that next car out, and it was the Nissan. So I get in, and I go to start the car, and I didn't realize that when I pressed down on the brake, so I'm in the habit of when I start a stick shift car, I always press really hard on the brake just to make sure like my foot's actually on the brake and not the gas. And then obviously pressing the clutch, whether it's in neutral, first gear, or reverse, you start the vehicle. But what I didn't realize is my boot, when I fully pressed down on the brake, I was also pressing down on the gas, like fully pinned down. I didn't know that. So when I start the engine, it's just fully revved out. I'm holding onto the steering wheel for my dear life, and I didn't know what to do. It all happened so fast, a lot was going on. All you hear is the engine fully revving and not going anywhere because my foot was on the brake, but it was also fully on the gas, and I was on the clutch too with my left foot. So I'm like holding on, and I try and let go, but as I let go, the car inches forward because it was in first gear for some reason, and I was just panicking. This is all happening in the time frame of like 5-10 seconds, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to crash it, so I was like, okay, I just need to let something go. And at the time, my coworker Art was installing on a machine to the left, or like just in front of me, and then Tom, the tire center manager, was on the balancing station just to the right. And I finally let go of everything, like gas, clutch, and brake, and the car had enough RPMs to push it forward, and I just slammed into the machine. It was a mounting machine, and I'm just glad obviously no one got hurt, but I was just sitting there like shell-shocked, not knowing what to do. And Art, the guy who was on the mounting machine, he's a big shit talker, so he was laughing. after everything like settled down and realized everybody was okay and I was okay, the car had damage on the front. He's like, hold on, buddy, and just talking shit. But my heart was just racing. I just realized I just crashed a freaking car at work. So I sat there. Tom, the manager, was like, just take a deep breath, relax. And they went to go grab a manager named Linda. She oversaw the tire shop at the time. And she comes out, assesses the situation, and we're busy. Like, the tire shop in California, it was non-stop. We had cars all day from open to close. So we had a full garage, all the bays were full. And Tom was like, here, just go grab the next car while we find out what's gonna happen. And okay, I'm like, okay, I grabbed the keys to the next car, and it's an old Cadillac. And to this day, like, that was my first week in the tire shop. I had never pulled in a car like this before, so I thought I was losing my mind. But I get in the car, and I start it, and on this particular transmission, to get the car in or out of park, you had to put it into gear. And I had no idea that I had to do that. But I literally thought I was losing my mind. I was like, I don't want to crash another car. My like nerves are still going, my heart rate's still up, and I was nervous. So I just left it where it was. I'm like, hey man, I couldn't pull that last car in, and I was just like practically pissing my pants. But I found out that I was going to be taken to the urgent care to piss in the cup, because it's standard procedure at Costco. If you cause damage while on a operating machine, you get drug tested. So I was like, oh shit. So at the time I was, how old was I? 2013. I was 23. And in that time of my life, a lot of our friends had started to make homemade bongs and smoke weed out of them, obviously. But the night before, I was at my buddy Kevin's house, and someone had made like, it was probably like, what were they called? It was like a flavored water, sparkling flavored water, tall, skinny bottle, and someone made a bong out of it. And I was leaving his house, and I wanted to just like test it out, give it a test run. And I take a little tiny hit just to see how well it worked, because we were all like talking shit on who can make the best water bottle bong. And I just take a little tiny hit. So that's running through my head as we drive to the urgent care. And I'm like shitting my pants. I'm like, I'm gonna get freaking fired. So, oh wow. We're out cruising around the backcountry of Lubbock and Wolforth. But yeah, Laura, shout out Laura, lady from the office, was driving me to the urgent care, and she was the mother of my buddy's girlfriend who we're dating. Both of them work at Costco too. Max was in the deli and chicken room when I got out of the tire center. He shortly came after. But we're driving there, and I'm like, oh, so what are we doing? She's like, yeah, you just gotta get drug tested, and once everything clears, you can go back to work. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, oh, you'll be fine. I'm like, lady, you do not know what I do outside of my work life. But I wasn't like a major pothead, but I smoked a little weed. So I'm like, that feeling you get in your stomach when you know something can just go really wrong really quick. I get to the back. We're sitting in the urgent care office for like 30-45 minutes, and I finally get taken back, and I piss in the cup, and the lady has the test results, some younger girl right in front of me. She's looking at them. I'm like, so what's it say? She's like, you know what it says. I'm like, deep down, I'm like, fuck. I didn't mean to cuss. But I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna get fired. And she looks up to me, she's like, you're fine. And I was like, holy shit. I was so relieved. But yeah, that was the story of me crashing your car. The member's car ended up getting taken care of. He took advantage of Costco and the whole situation. We rebuilt the whole front end of his freaking piece of junk car costed Costco like $1,400, but after I passed that drug test, they got me right back on the clock and started to work. But yeah, shout out to my manager Tom and Art. It was a lot of fun working with them. Tom was taught me a lot in that portion of my life. Like, I like to party a lot and I drank a lot. And here's another story. So I kind of give him credit for not correcting me, but helping me change in a way that helped me in life. And one day, I used to work the desk a lot at the tire shop, so you're actually working hands-on with members and talking to them, like not even a foot away. And I had probably gotten really drunk the night before, and I used to show up to work because I would drink till like 2-3 in the morning, and I would reek of alcohol when I drink. Ask my mom; she used to call me out all the time. But I had a member complain. They didn't give a name, thankfully, to our warehouse manager, saying that someone in the tire shop smelled like alcohol. And Tom pulled me aside because he knew it was me. He's like, "Hey man, you really can't be showing up to work like that." And it kind of like also made my stomach drop because I'm like, man, I'm gonna lose my job for smelling like alcohol. I probably would have failed a drug test on some of those days. But yeah, I learned a lot in my 10 years at Costco, and it's just crazy to think about how much happened and how I kind of wonder how much lead I was exposed to, because they've got signs all over the tire shop saying the area you're working in is known to cause cancer. Obviously those are disclaimers so they can't sue once you die of the black lung after you're employed there. But yeah, that was that story. I think that's all we have for this video, but we're just chilling with Charlie, cruising around Lubbock, driving the stick shift, only proper for the story we just told. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the video, and give me some more ideas. I'd love to know what you guys want to see or hear about. So if you can, drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.